Have you had a chance to see how much of the tour have you been able to see yet?
No, due to these interviews, I've only had a chance to see a couple of things, which are absolutely incredible to me.
Yeah, was there anything that you were like, wow?
Everything. I mean, you take the Hulk. All I did was come up with a green monster, and that was it. But now I see the scientific basis behind the Hulk. I never knew I was such a scientific wizard.
Well, that's so like the rest of us when we see the Iron Man costume or I guess suit behind us. Do you geek out like the rest of us? I mean, it's like I know you created it, but still, like that makes me want to. That geeks me out a lot.
I am exactly like the rest of you, and the one thing I think is when young kids come to see this exhibit, they're going to go home wanting to be scientists.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most fascinating thing. I never realized I was such a great scientist.
That's actually a good question. I mean, when you were writing the comics back in the day, did you think that all the different scientific groups and everything like that would really study this, and this would get kids into science, even on a different?
Never. I was never thinking of science. I remember with the Hulk, for example, I had loved the Frankenstein movie with Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
And I always felt the monster was really a good guy.
Yeah.
But all those idiots with torches were chasing him up and down the hills.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be fun to have a monster who's a good guy.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, I'll get a guy, he's clobbered with gamma rays and he becomes a monster. That was it. Then I thought it might be kind of dull for writing about a monster page after page. And I remembered Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I thought, what if he turns into a normal guy and into a monster? Yeah. That would be fun.
Yeah.
So I did that. And that was as much scientific thought as I put into it.
Yeah.
But now I find out that there is so much science behind the Hulk, and there's so much that I wasn't aware of. I want to go back and start reading the Hulk all over again and get all these scientific facts.
So, now you have these Academy Award-winning stars playing your characters, as opposed to back in the day they were a little a little interesting to say the least sometimes. How do you feel like having people who are universally recognized as amazing actors play your characters?
The reason I'm such a good interviewer is the answers that I give. I think it's nice. No, it's wonderful. You get someone like Robert Downey Jr. being Iron Man.
Yeah.
I mean, he is Iron Man. Nobody can play that role like him. And all the actors have been so great. And the characters come alive on the screen, and then with an exhibit like this, you walk in and you say, oh, so that's how Iron Man does it, and that's how the costume works, and the armor works. Me, as much as any fan, I'm learning all about it too.
So what is it like as, I occasionally write, stuff other than, this, and I try to imagine always now, thanks to a lot of your worlds that you've created, what would they look like on cinema? And that's kind of something I think that almost everybody has now in mind. When they write a comic book or they write a story, it's like, well, how's this going to play on screen? Which world that you created, which character do you think is closest to what you originally envisioned back in the creation days?
Wow. Well, they're all close to what I envisioned, because when I would come up with the idea, I would tell the artist who was going to draw it what I wanted, and he would make the sketches. And I would say, no, not that one, this is the one I want.
Yeah.
So they all turned out to be the way I had envisioned them.
Yeah.
And that was lucky for me. It was easier for me to write them when I knew what they looked like, and I liked what they looked like.
Yeah. So, okay, so this is a little jump off, I have a couple fan questions they're asking. So, if you could revive the Just Imagine Stan Lee created series for any property, what would it be?
You mean the one I did for DC?
Yeah.
Wow. Which one? I did them all for DC. There's only one that I forgot his name. They had a character who was like a killer from another planet.
Lobo.
Who was that?
Lobo?
Lobo!
Lobo, thank you for the audience.
Yeah, thank you. I think it would have been fun to do Lobo. They never asked me to do that one.
Hey, have you had a chance to see X-Men: Days of Future Past
I
yet?
haven't seen it yet, and I don't have a cameo in that one either. They were shooting it in Montreal, and I was somewhere else, and I couldn't get to Montreal. But that's the reason they made a lot of money. See, here's what happened. No, it works this way, and I'm letting you in on a secret.
Okay.
People would see the movie, and they'd say, wow, I didn't see Stan's cameo. So what do? They go back to the box office, buy another ticket, because they don't want to have missed it. They thought they missed it, you see.
Then they go frame by frame through the DVD.
So half of the money that was made is because of fans not wanting to miss my cameo. It's obvious.
That's fantastic. I like that answer. I think it works. So you created Spider-Man when you were 40 years old.
Is that when? Okay.
Right?
I don't
That's
keep
what my editor. That's what the fact checks say. What advice do you have for other artists struggling, like as they go on? If they didn't make it when they were 21 in the comic book world, what advice do you have?
Don't give up. I mean, you never know when you're going to make it. So don't stop trying. The main thing is work on something you're good at. Everybody knows what they're good at.
Yeah.
Don't try to do something you're not good at, because that's too difficult. Find out what you can do best and what you enjoy doing the most, and stick to that. And hopefully you might get lucky.
Fantastic answer. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so much.